I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the Convention Center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, send the curses to them enemies.
Yeah, those are messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby. Run that shit up, Trey.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low or this low, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer Ford. Togazak, watch the door. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harper. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UBK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low or this low, told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas. Get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count. And when you speaking to me for? Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad. Got them tied down and out there. Can't do with them steppers. Niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb. Yeah, bitch, we whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low. Told that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
When Westworld, let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make war. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Skimmer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the beast loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man, that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing, dog, I plan to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from, I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul, losing times, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But there's power by war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason, got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest, they gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have the deep squad. Been rapping since knee high, now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in they face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we half, but we come from half knots. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud. Raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was. From hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drop.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 41. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my houses. Yes, you said so. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a
No remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Von Dale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Captain Tywar in the building. Yeah. So Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man, on the speech, man. I break it down right quick,
don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got a million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts. Very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka, equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak would have been shot ya. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not inside of my conglomerate. Wreck like King Konga. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm through our pain that bring trauma. Stay focused on things that bring commas. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect, pay homage. I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down or we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designing charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, no Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a part, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
bust their head.
ODing on a beat, Narcan flow. Got my... We outside. We outside with it. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in the store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I got the world in the palm of my hand. One West, leave you stretched, do it live on the gram. Had a whole world viewing, click and subscribe. Had them niggas off the block, tell them shooters they want a job. I just put them on the payroll. When I get control them, I just mold them like they Play-Doh. Soldiers giving Halo, trying to get up at them pesos. 40 cows send you out of space, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, leave you all boxed up, all cause my delivery. I be on that prime shit, take you time to get with me. Got me like Vladimir, treat you like the Ukraine. Invade your little city, now you boating like Usain. Scope costs more than the rifle, I got new aim. Fresh kick, spit with the blick, not my shoe game. Used to have a dirty 30 tied to a shoestring. Now I got that Ruger 5 and 7, that's my boot thing. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in the store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in the store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, cause we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. The Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. There's one west for that bag and we outside. We outside. I don't talk hardly, be there when you call me. Send them Philly clippers at your head like a baldy. Chopper get to roaring down your block like a Harley. No, this ain't a big hog, this the big dog.
In your city, swinging through the jungle like it's pitfall. In the water wading, marching to my cadence. Big bursts of thunder in my hands like I'm reading. Shitty Mortal Kombat sounds, but I ain't playing.
Look 'em in the eye before the war like a weigh-in. I'm up in the AM, politicking movements with that Draco from the vid because it's proven. Waiting on my brother how to bid, he ain't do shit. That's how life go. Win some, you lose. Seen a little nigga beat a big nigga out his shoes. Seen that nigga come back, pull up with a gun strap, rob everybody outside, told him run that. We outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. Before the COVID had the mask and we was outside. My Glock loaded, extra mag and it's outside. It's one west for that bag and we outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. That temperature's getting hot, we take it outside. You run your mouth up in this store, we take it outside. I got my killers with me, you won't make it outside. We outside, and we outside. Outside, yeah, we outside. We outside, yeah, we outside. There's one west on them corners and we outside. We outside with it.
Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man, shit, nigga. They take their head off, nigga. I pray what Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert, another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening, is in fact if revenge was a woman, I stroke that bitch like Jackie. So I war, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I came to do damage, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trickin' on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear. This shit life. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. 6 shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow side, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Rude speech, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building. Yeah. So, Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man, on Rude speech, man. I break it down right quick,
don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine. Big glow, I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts. Very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka, equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak would have been shot ya. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not inside of my conglomerate. Wreck like King Konga. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm through our pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring commas. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect, pay homage. That I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designers charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had friends on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, no Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting fouled, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. scarf and the sweater, I embark. Every letter is UPK, not a park, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
When Westworld, let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make war. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the beast loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, this the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Stood against all enemies. In high school, you was the man, that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing, dog, I plan to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from, I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul, losing times, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But there's power by war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason, got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest, they gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, this the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have the deep squad, been rapping since knee high. Now a nigga shack size, spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in they face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we have, but we come from half knots. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was, from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drop.
So many chains and gold teeth, this the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Don't have messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I smoke a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like the dark. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking note. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm making hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart.
Let's clap it up. Here we go. Shalom Israel. Y'all about Shemi outside. Thumb to the brothers. Y'all Shamar. A lot of time about Shemi outside to the sisters. We are the high super kid, the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commander General Yana. Israel, pay your tithes. ISUPK.com. We got the Passover coming up April 1st at sundown, Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh, North Carolina Convention Center. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row and you're ready to move on a moment's notice because you don't want to get. You don't want to leave any last minute, needs unmet. You want to make sure everything's flowing nice and smooth. The Passover demons are legit. They will try to knock you off your square, and you're going to use that as an excuse not to show up. When the Passover, the participation and attendance of the Passover is also commandment too. So let's not, what I'm saying, you're going to have a lot of people out there that, again, studying with their book clubs and being so damn esoteric in their shit in their own minds, but thinking that they know something that we don't, think that they're gonna teach us something new, that you can't keep the Passover in captivity, this, that, and the third. It's damn all that. If your luggage get lost, if you lose your job, you got all these bills, it's, make that sacrifice, because the men and the sisters before you, the brothers and the sisters before you, they also made those same sacrifices.
That's right.
So we don't get a pass. So now we coming at you from Twin Cities, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota. Did that backwards. Twin Cities, Minnesota. Brotherhood class is Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Brotherhood class. So the topic of this is Brotherhood under pressure. When Brotherhood is under pressure, what do you do? How do you act? How do you react? And there's a number of different examples that we can find out in history and throughout these records of how people had failed under pressure, been inconsiderate to their people under pressure, completely jumped ship and abandoned the mission under pressure. So just like we just got done the past 2 days going over the story of Purim in the book of Esther, they were under pressure too. All the people in them kings in that king's provinces that was subjugated to that rulership, they was all under pressure too. And then that wicked Edomite, the Agag guy, come on, who had put a bounty on all their heads, just because that one brother did not respect his position in that kingdom. So he tried to take out that frustration on all the Jews. We get treated the exact same way, mind you. Because of well, I ain't gonna try to correlate them necessarily, but you could have a cop, you could have a military police officer, whatnot. You could have a 9-to-5 Joe Schmo blue collar family man. Right. Have a negative interaction with a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. Now all of them are under fire. Right. There's a lot of incidences where it just started off as one thing and then snowballed to they sweeping up every black man on the streets, right, every Puerto Rican on the streets, every Mexican around the border towns. I used to going straight into their jobs, snatching everybody up, separating families, and it's a lot of it's predicated off of predicated off of an isolated incident that they now use to stereotype their interactions with that entire ethnic group. This was an example of it with the book of Esther, with how Haman was treating Mordecai and the Jews. Just because Mordecai wouldn't coon for dude. He wouldn't and he couldn't be intimidated, he couldn't be bullied, he couldn't be bought out, he couldn't be buttered up. He was staunch on his commitment to our power and to his people. But he also did his job. He was in servitude under the king too, being one of like the doormen. You know what I'm saying? Like being like the bouncer at the door type shit. And he had to bust some other co-workers out, which found him favor. And again, all under pressure. They acted they were very smooth about it. They were very collected, calm, collected, cool. And they didn't especially Esther too. Again, shout out to that sister, man. She didn't let the pressures of her position in that palace and the conditions of her people cloud her judgment. And with the task that Mordecai had set to her, which was dangerous too, like she put her life on the line for real, and she followed suit. She took the counsel, she took the orders, and she went about her business and got the job done. Like what she did, like that combo right there, like that was a major play. That was a major play because dude had money on Israel. Dude had money on Israel head for no other reason than his feelings got hurt. And again, that's the same way that they treat us. If you were a brother out there, you were a sister out there, you disrespect a circuit court judge, a police officer, they might never see you again in life. But that next black face, that next tan skinned brother or sister that they see, they gonna catch hell. Because of that, just because their feelings get hurt. So now, how do we operate under pressure as a people? How do we maintain our relationships as a people, brothers and sisters and co-workers, family members, our wives, husbands, your children? How do you maintain that relationship when we under pressure? And it's a tough situation to be in. It's a tough situation to be in. First off, you're not alone. You're not alone. Everybody, every UPK brother that you see teaching these classes, as far as I know, and I don't know all of them, and most high in Christ, there's so many goddamn schools that you can't even really count it like that almost. So even though I don't know everybody personally, we all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, right.
So the men that you're getting these lessons from, we share that burden with you. We don't separate ourselves for social status, classisms, bank accounts. Money markets and things like that. Like we don't. We all the same. We all one in this body of Christ. We all one in this truth. So when you get these counsels, when you belay your problems on us, which again we signed up for, so don't let that little bug in your ear talk about, well, y'all don't want to burden them with my problems. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Let them sleep, and then you end up dwelling on it more and more, and then you talk yourself out of making that phone call. There's historically been a lot more damage that comes into play with us not making that phone call, with us not going to seek counsel, with us not noticing red flags in our home and reaching out to somebody and making it known, making it aware, so that if something were to happen, you would know more or less who you got to point that finger of judgment at. You know who to hold accountable for whatever problems may pop up. And in this captivity, again, we are under constant stress, 24/7. Bills, travel, work, your kids, your spouse, your neighbors, your neighborhood. Sir.
And God, so I mean, if I may, select based on what you're saying, you know, the Bible does say to pretty much like wear down the doors of other prophets, right? And so this is the precept. Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 36, in Apocrypha. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee times unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Keep going.
If there's more that you want to contribute to it, yeah.
God. Verse 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart, and give thee wisdom at thine own desires. So that owns the desires.
And I mean that's to prevent, you know, like self-destruction. Mm-hmm. You're gonna go off your own desires. Again, you're gonna talk yourself in and out of situations because of that pressure on you. You think that there might be a timetable associated with it. So now you think that you gotta rush everything. So like if I could get that one precept, like make not decisions in haste or run haste. You know what I'm talking about? So like if we go to Isaiah 9:20, and he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm. Under pressure, and, you know, where we're talking about again in Isaiah's time, we were in captivity. We were going through similar living conditions that we are right now, being afforded some of the same options or lack thereof. And it's, you know, you end up what's the word, imploding. You end up imploding, and everything that you think that you had stacked up for your family that, you know, should have been given to your kids, or the example that you thought that you were set for the next generation. I mean, you end up ruining all that. And you know, like when a crackhead, you know, go to steal from a grandma that he living with to sell her a VCR, a TV, or DVD player for another hit. It's, you know, we sabotage ourselves, and that's also like in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 5. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. So like you keeping everything bottled up. You're eating yourself alive. Like we've heard these phrases too. Eating yourself alive. That's a sentiment that this is talking about. You're not physically, you know, like doing like cannibalism on yourself. It's just you're keeping everything bottled in. You're keeping all that stress, all that weight just on you. You ain't trying to share that with nobody. And it just devours you from the inside out. And you become a poison to your people, become a poison and a burden to your wife and your kids. If you're a man, if you're a sister, become a burden and a poison to your husband and your kids there too. Or if you're single, whatever the stance may be. Yeah, kind of. And to yourself and to the people that are around you. So it's not a new concept, you know what I'm saying? Like we've been through this before. Because we avoid the council, we as a measure to try to hold some type of sanity or peace of mind, we unlift that burden onto substance abuse, so we can kind of escape and step back from it.
Right.
They did the same things back then too. It's like, sure.
Yeah, I found it. This might be it. Just let me know if it is or if it's not. It's locked in advance. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. Verse 16. These 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. Verse 17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
That's not quite it. That first part.
No. It's more to
There's
it.
more to it.
Verse 18. And heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief.
No, not quite the one I was thinking of, but that's definitely applicable to it. Well, what was the passage? Where was that?
Proverbs, the 6th chapter. So Proverbs 6 and 18.
So definitely check that out. Proverbs 6 and 18. That's definitely a good look. And again, that describes how quick we are to react to something without taking counsel, without taking a minute to kind of breathe on it, without relying on your brotherhood and the sisterhood.
So, if I may, Old Testament, Apocrypha.
I think Old Testament.
Okay, so can you reiterate it for me?
We'll try to look something up real quick.
Okay, that's what. Because I have a few on my head, but like I'm looking it up, it just don't sound like it's lining up to what you're saying. But I think they're good precepts, though.
Definitely works. It definitely works.
But I feel like this one was closer to what you were saying. So I didn't get it correct.
And so, I mean, Ecclesiastes 7 and 9 is real close to it. Ecclesiastes 8 and 3 is real close to it. Be not hasty to go out of his sight. Say not in an evil thing. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
So that was one of them. The hasty. That was a key word.
That's definitely a key word in it.
Yeah. Let me see something. How about refrain from evil or wickedness?
Well, I mean, we can definitely pull that up. I think that'll go right into it.
That's Thessalonians.
That's not the one that I was thinking.
Okay. You had said Ecclesiastes 7 and 8.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. They had
because I got 7 and 9. Be not hasty in thy spirits to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
And again, I mean, it's all kind of part of just the one specific that I'm thinking of.
And then I think you said 8 and 3.
Because I had to share this with one of my own too, going through something, and you know, it's in the spirit of keeping focused. You can't. Everybody's like we've heard this before too. You know, everybody's got a problem. Everybody's going through something. Everybody's, you know, losing a loved one, losing a job, the car breaks down, you stubbed your toe in the goddamn bed. You know, there's always something going on. You found out that your elementary school kid is smoking cigarettes or vaping, getting high. You know what I'm saying? It's that there's always, you know, somebody's kind of always going through something. Hell on your job, gas prices going up. You know, it ain't got to necessarily be something as severe as, you know, somebody dying in your family or you finding out that your baby mama smoking crack, but you know, it could be a little bit simpler. Right. There's some extremes to it. There's some extremes, and that's why also a lot of people like you can't be that dramatic either. There are some things that aren't that big of a deal that we just kind of take on. Like, listen, baby mama smoking dope, that's pretty heavy. I would say that's above getting a flat tire. You know, I'd like to think that there's kind of a degree there that's like, oh, well, that sucks, but that's kind of bad up there. Slap again.
I was caught off guard for a second. I heard singers and I heard that. I'm like, oh, okay.
And it can go.
I mean, it is the same thing. The smoking is smoking. You feel me? So yeah, I get it. But anyway, so like, the Trooper Kawan, he asked, what is evil's thing, sir? So I mean, if you could, you know, Trooper Kawanya Allah, if you're watching, can you elaborate what you're saying?
Or give a scripture that you might be referring to.
Yeah. So brother Trooper Kawanya Allah, can you explain what you're asking?
Because how did he say that again?
He said, what is a evil thing, sir?
What is an evil thing?
So like, what context are you speaking about?
So I mean, if we're looking at the definition.
Right, because I know in Hebrew, Rai is evil.
So what's it like mean?
So Rai also too in Hebrew means Adamam, which is devil.
What's it mean?
Oh, liar or deceiver. Yes.
Evil means liar, deceiver.
Yes, based on the Webster's dictionary.
Let's see if the Zondervan got anything to add to it. But in the meantime, yeah, if you got a specific concept or all right, so in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, evil, a term designating that which is not in harmony with the divine order. So not keeping the laws would be evil. In the Bible, evil is clearly depicted under two distinct aspects, moral and physical. Morally reprehensible, arising from actual or imputed bad character or conduct. And it's like this part I'm reading from the Webster. Character inferior, causing discomfort or repulsion, disagreeable, causing harm, marked by misfortune. So now, evil is not just the deeds that you do that would be against the Most High. And there's a lot of different fields that would cover. And how the Zondervan is breaking it down, physical and moral. You know, lying to somebody, that's not like a physical attack on them, right. But that can be considered evil too. Also, there's how would I say this? There's lies that you can say that aren't evil. It's I don't want to say muddy water because it's really not that big a deal, but there are.
Give the example of Jacob and Esau when it came to.
Perfect. Perfect. That's when Rebecca had, and she said that she would take on that burden too. So, you know, she had covered dude with the gold skin. She was like, "Listen, go tell your pops that you're Esau," and he was like, "Oh, you know that don't seem right, Mom. I don't want to lie to my dad about this." And she's like, "Listen, I'll deal with your father. You just do what I tell you to do." And she was falling in court to the prophecy.
He was drunk or something?
I think Isaiah was drunk for a minute after he went blind. I think he was just partying all the time. Or it's like Isaac. Yeah, I think he might have been lit for a while.
I think he was like in the bed or something like that.
Yeah, just waiting for some food. But now also the physical evils and things like that. You know, causing physical harm to somebody. But also the evil in the concept of judgment. Like you're not going to consider somebody greeting you with a 10-course meal evil unless they trying to, you know, make you go overboard or die because of like overeating. But you might consider a tornado evil that just rips your house in half. Like those are also measures of evil that would be considered. And a great white shark to me would be evil if I'm stuck in the middle of an ocean, it's gnawing my leg off. That's evil. But a great white shark just swimming in the ocean ain't evil. The cocaine plant itself is not evil. Is somebody freebasing on the train right behind you with their baby about to sell their baby for another hit? That's evil. Like there's, I don't want to say context necessarily, but you do have to take it to, you do got to look at the circumstances to see what kind of evil it is. Moral, physical, combination, judgment call, reaction. Because the person that's trying to rob you, when you turn around and knock them out, you just did evil unto them. But you know, it's not evil for you. Just, you know, they disagree. Like, I don't know if any of y'all ever got into a fight with like a bully. Somebody was picking on you, and then you swing off on them, and now they get mad at you. Like they already try to rob you or try to beat you up, and then they get clocked, and now they mad at you because they initiated something that backfired on them. You got to look at it. You got to look at it. And unfortunately, you know, we surround ourselves with even, you know, a lot of our neighborhoods are very negative. They're negatively charged. Everybody wants to talk about energy. All right, let's talk about it then. Corrupt police, corrupt politicians, drug-induced societies. I mean, it's high inflation, taxes, you know, high price on everything. This whole COVID thing that kind of messed the whole job market up. It's, you know, there's evil all around us as a result of, you know, some some Ammonites or some Moabites eating back, and penguins and pangolins, and their research facilities messing around with God knows what kind of bacteria and viruses. And it adds to that pressure that we're constantly under. So when you're under that pressure, I mean, you got to keep your wits about you. You don't want to be that person that's gonna. Did I already get rid of them? I think I already closed them down. But like we had read, you know, how a fool folded his hands up, you know, eating his own arm, just to paraphrase it. You don't want to implode on yourself. You don't want to implode in your household and, you know, kind of tear everybody down with you just because you having a bad day. Just because you can't handle the pressure. Share that pressure. Share that pressure, man. Unburden that off your shoulders. Right. As some people are embarrassed or ashamed to talk about the problems that they're facing, that they, how do I say it? Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you messed up. Maybe you failed. Maybe you failed. Maybe you effed up, and you fell from your office. Maybe you dropped your sword. Maybe you did something that was horrible, and now you're just gonna let that poison you and eat you alive. Okay, like I get it. Apologize, repent, ask for forgiveness, get counsel. And I'm not saying you got to do it in that specific order. Just like those are some of the steps to take to get that pressure off you, so that you can be a brother to your people, so you can be a sister to your family, so that you can be a good husband to your wife, so you ain't got to be a dragon to your man. So
no, based on what you're saying, it's very important. You don't want to be in that low state, of course. Like you don't want to stay in that low state. So I mean, in the best way possible, you have to get up, stand up, get up. Do not be in that low state. Do not sit there. You have to get over it. All right. You can't. One thing that you do not want to do. Don't be a person who punishes themselves when you already been punished. So, like for example, Jonah. Jonah was punishing himself when his prophecy did not come to pass. So don't do that to yourself.
Right.
Don't punish yourself. Just take that check-in, understand it, and just keep moving. And you know, just do better. Also, too, Peter. Don't be like, you know, how Peter was at one point in time. Peter's name means, you know, rock. You know what I mean? Or stone. Do not punish yourself. You know what I mean? Just keep it moving. Take your check-in, understand what you did wrong, and keep it moving. Otherwise, if you're not coming out of that depression, out of all being at a low state, what you're gonna do is you're gonna waste time, and people's lives are gonna be on the line that you have to be responsible for. And if you're not responsible for those people's lives that are depending on you, what's gonna happen is they can just fly away, or they can die. Like when you don't go to camp, or when you do not push this truth, people die in your own city.
Right.
And you have to hold yourself responsible. That's how serious the work of the Lord is.
That's right.
And if you don't understand that, maybe you need to be in class more, or you don't understand what the UPK stands for.
Right.
And I digress.
And take it like a damn man.
Right.
Like if
don't be a bitch.
Yeah, and don't try to be a hero if that just ain't you. Don't try to put on a front. You got it's so goddamn social media for giving people that false sense of security and that false knowledge and tutelage, thinking that you can look at a couple videos, a couple websites, and now you got the shit on lock. So like it don't work that way, man. All right, so like the same way that counselors, especially drug abuse counselors, are very, very, very reputably ineffective because they are the majority of them. I think today more we have people that have actually went through that life to know what they're talking about, but In the beginning, you had it was all just like psychologists, textbook psychologists. Never had a heroin addiction. They never smoked dope. They never smoked pot. They never wacky tobacco and whatnot. They made well, I think everybody damn near in the 50s, 60s, and 70s smoked cigarettes. Shit. But they weren't affected by the epidemic to know what it actually does to you. They see it from outside looking in. So, on a clinical level, they have that knowledge as far as witnessing the psychotic breaks, the moral degradation. From the inside looking out, a lot of people that are hyped up on drugs like that, addicted to drugs like that, they don't know that they're destroying themselves. They're not exactly aware of that in the middle of it. Once they sober up though, you messed up. You can see yourself in the mirror. Like people dig chunks of flesh out their face, man. Like crystal meth, that's a real thing. That's some pressure on somebody's life. Now you got some kids that failed sociology in college, and their life is just a wreck, and everything is over exaggerated and blown out of proportion. You got somebody who just had a miscarriage. It's subjective. Trauma and pressure is subjective. It just depends on how you deal with it. So now, how do we deal with this? Again, seek counsel. Seek counsel. If it's not something that you are readily, mentally, and physically capable to battle on your own, listen, rely on your brothers. Rely on your sisters, man. More so, go to your camp leader. Go to your camp leader. You don't want to just put this on another sister, something like that. Like, our sisters don't hold office, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be fair to just try to unload your burdens onto them, expecting them to have the answer for you when they're just gonna tell you the same thing. Listen, go to your head.
Right.
Like who's your husband? Like who's your husband? Who's your camp leader if you ain't got a husband? If your father's not in the truth, where else can you go? Listen, ISUPK.com all day long. If you're in any major metropolitan city, especially in America, you can at least start there. I mean, we got boots and actually Captain Kapash too. And where is that? Let me try to pull up this flyer too. Captain Kapash, at the end of April, I believe April 27th through May 1st, they're going to be putting boots on the ground in the Dominican Republic. They got some problems, man. They got some pressure that they're going through. The DR, Haiti, all the Caribbean islands, South America, what they would be labeled as, third world countries and whatnot. They got some pressure too. Very different than what's going on in suburban America. Extremely different. There are levels to that. But now again, pressure is subjective. And there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just how you traverse through those pressures. So Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1. My son, this is not just limited to males, to cis males. I don't know if they're gonna start trying to check us and censor us for terms like that. But just reading the Bible, we're not gonna apply whatever proper pronouns the world deems fit to the scriptures. And the breakdowns, explanations, I mean, we give it our damnedest. So when it says my son, that's not just that's not strictly, exclusively talking to cis males. Select it to the minute, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Now, you might not even be trying to serve the Lord and you want to fight. But especially when you fighting through hell to come back home, when you want a better quality of life for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, expect all that love that you're gonna give to the Most High. Expect to be hated for that. Right. Expect to be hated for that, because a lot of people ain't gonna understand. The majority of people just ain't gonna understand. But don't worry, you're not alone. If you're crazy, listen, we crazy too.
That's right.
You're in good company. You're gonna be all right. Come check us out in April. Yeah.
So like Christ has said in the book of John, chapter 15, verse 18, based on what the priest is saying. You know, priest 1,000 a multiply. If the world hate you, yea, know that it hated me before it hated you.
Worst things have happened.
Right.
Worst things have happened. And again, you're not alone in this.
That's right.
Our king went through this. So he knows the problems that we're facing. He came from the ghetto too. He came from the slums also, man. Bethlehem, Galilee, yeah.
Actually, when you do the research of Galilee, that actually was the ghetto.
He was in the hood, man.
Yeah.
He was in the hood.
Yeah.
And he's very well versed and familiar with our poverty, with the way people look down on us, with the conditions of the people. Kind of Sadducees and Pharisees, people that got it maybe in the moment better than us, even though a lot of them probably came from the same wrecking ball community that we came from too. But you can all listen. You can always throw on purple. You can always match, throw on a color coordinated costumes, and go around the streets. You can always do that, right. And they'll love you more for that.
Right.
It won't be as bad. It really won't be as bad. Rocking with Christ, that was rough. For Peter, for Paul, for James, John, all them brothers, it was hell for them because of their allegiance and their affiliation. For the Sadducees and Pharisees, though, nah, not really. Nicodemus, nah, he was kicking it. He was comfortable. He wasn't getting pressed by the Romans. Well, because he wasn't getting pressed by other people too, because he was part of that hierarchy. So they were pressing Yahushua. They were pressing the priests and prophets that roll with him. They were the ones doing the pressure, applying the pressure. They had a business deal going on with Rome. The greasing their palms. So of course they were cool. It ain't like that on the other side of the tracks. So my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Verse 2. This is the verse I was looking for. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble. Don't let that distract you. Listen, life sucks sometimes. We living in America. Look at the rulership that we've been under. Ever since the presidency, had started. Look at how they dogged us at every turn. Look how they treated us. Okay?
So is that Ecclesiasticus?
2 and yeah.
Yeah, it's the same chapter. Yeah, no, if you would have said that,
I gave you the key words to it.
No,
Preset King, it's like it. Preset King, I gave you the key words to it. It's like Preset King, put the camera on him.
No, you funny. You know what? I looked up hasty, but it says haste, right?
No.
Yeah, so when it does that, I hate that part. But anyway, I'll be quiet. You got it. You can I swear. But I knew the book though. When you said it, I knew exactly where you was at. So I'll shut up
and actually Ecclesiasticus.
No. I said the Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha, correct?
It sounds like you said Ecclesiastes.
No
sweat. No big deal. No big deal. We here. We in the game. We in the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the one that I had to give somebody close to me as far as like the tribulation that they going through too. It's
I'm sorry. Say it again. No. Say it again.
This is the one that I had to give to mine, to people close to me.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, you guys said it fast. I was trying to understand. Okay.
Verse 2: Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Don't you ever heard that phrase? Run around like a chicken with your head cut off.
Right.
That's how a lot of people act when things don't go their way. I mean, they kick and scream, they pout and they cry, they
rush things.
They rush things, they binge drink, they OD because they're trying to escape it.
Right.
They're trying to escape it. When the scriptures say, "Listen, where is it?"
Actually, I got you.
Endure to the end. The scriptures say, "Endure until the end." and the same shall be saved. It's like this ain't gonna be easy, man. And you can't just get ready for it. Just get ready for it. You're trying to live a clean and sober life. You're trying to do something different than what you've been raised up in, that you've been used to. I mean, it's important. You gotta stay focused. Don't just let it knock you off your square. It's pressure. It's gonna be there. It's gonna be. This is life, kind of. Okay.
That's what 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful.
There you go.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
Okay. And that's a heavy connection right here too. Because again, it's don't let it scare you off.
Right.
And don't let it break your character.
That's right.
Rise above the occasion.
That's right.
He's giving you an out. He's giving you an out by enduring, by pushing through to see what you're made of.
Right.
Prove him right.
That's right.
He gave you those tasks for a specific reason. Prove him right. Because the shame that comes in with proving them wrong, it's that's just gonna add on to that burden. And you're gonna take that the wrong way too. You already took, something like this wrong. Maybe you got an overdue bill or something. And now you feel instead of maybe getting another job or trying to get some overtime, maybe you got to rob somebody. Or maybe you got to sell just a little bit of drugs, just a little bit. Just get a quick little front, and that should float you for a little bit. You should be all right. Don't break rank, don't break your character over a little bit of pressure, man, because it's not gonna stop there. Just like how lies always kind of compound on themselves too. Yeah, you got to make up another lie to get out of that lie. You got to make up another lie to try to cover up for that lie. It's going to be the same thing. And if you look at the source of it, it's always going to come down to you are not playing by the rules that the Lord had set for us. It's really not that difficult. It's so hard for us right now. And again, it's no different from our people in times past either. But it's so hard from us right now. And I'll even say this from Adam going forward. After eating off that tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because we know the other side of that coin.
Right.
We've experienced it. Some brothers and sisters grew up damn near born alcoholics, crack babies, abandoned in orphanages and foster care. Survived abortions. It's again pressure and burdens can be subjective because it's what affects you, your life, your circumstances, and just how you react to it now. That's when we don't give that room for consideration as far as, oh, well, they was going through this, so okay, they get a little bit more leeway. And because these people were going through this, give them a different consideration. Pressure is objectively pressure then, because it's still a weight on your shoulders. It doesn't really matter how heavy it is in comparison to somebody else's burden. How you react to it is going to be flatline across the board. That's going to be the standard reaction to it. So set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased by thy last end. Talking about the Most High. Don't give up. Listen, people are gonna try to push your buttons. They're gonna try to prove you wrong. They're gonna spread lies about the truth, about you, about God, about things that they don't have any understanding over. So again, if they see you slipping, they're gonna just try to throw some grease on that rig so that you can't get a grip on it no more. They're gonna see you, they're gonna see a weak point, and they're gonna try to fish for it. So you gotta cleave. Listen, get a good grip on it. Don't just give up. Don't just give up, man. That's an easy thing to do when there's a lot of beautiful things to experience out here, and the changes that this world needs. I don't want to. Well, let's turn that phrase. Be the change that you want to see in the world.
That's
I don't know who the hell that is, quoted from, but it's applicable. It definitely does match. So I mean, if you don't want to see crack cocaine in neighborhoods no more, be that change. Educating our people on the origins of how that came into our hood, the effects of it, giving kids better, our youth better outlets, better options, making awareness of the damage that it does, helping to rehabilitate people that have been affected by it. It's like, you got no comment?
No, sir. No, based on what you're saying, you're saying a lot of heavy stuff. If I may. Ecclesiasticus chapter 4 in Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
Okay.
So how based on what you're saying, you're saying endure to the end. You know what I mean? Keep going, don't give up, have that integrity. And I just think that is very strong, very wise, because our people need precepts like this to have the courage and the integrity, because there are times in your life where you may feel like, damn, I'm broken. I'm at a place to where I don't have no one to help me, to lift me up. You know what I mean? Also, too, the Bible does say in Ecclesiastes, two are better than one. It's good to have somebody right next to you. So if you fall, someone's able to catch you. So that's why counsel is very important. And hey, I'm gonna tell you, brothers and sisters out there, man, get counsel.
Get counsel.
Always, man. Don't worry about what the person over the phone is going to think or feel about you. It's nothing personal. It's all business. You know what I mean? Like that man over the phone that's giving you that counsel, whoever you are, is going to check you or direct you in the right path, right? But they're not going to think about it the day after.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many times where I didn't have counsels with brothers and sisters, and I would say my piece, and I don't think about it. I forget all about it. But maybe they it's still on their mind. No sweat. But just understand, I'm not thinking about it. So should you? No, not at all. There's times where I didn't got counsel from men over me, and I'm thinking about it when I was younger in the truth. No sweat. Hey, I ain't thinking about it. You shouldn't think about it either. So I learned that lesson. You know what I mean? Just take that check-in, man. Get that advice, that counsel that you solely need, that therapy, and you will be better off. If you listen to it, you'll be better off.
That's right.
If you don't, Lord be with you, because the Most High maybe won't not be with you. I pray you understand, but then again, I pray that you don't understand. Because when you are on the other side of the Most High, it's not great at all. Shalom. Salam. Salam.
I think that deserves some recognition. Because really, when you get checked, man, it's that demon on you that's getting checked. It's not you.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
It ain't nothing personal. We trying to get that demon off of you.
Damn right.
We're trying to free you of that burden. So that's why it's so important to talk about it. Because if you hold that in, if you're gonna be that fool that folds your arms in, I mean, you're covering up for you're covering up a crime, essentially. You're letting something unjustified go and run wild and possibly influence others. So when you're going through something, and mental health is an important thing, just as well as physical health and addiction abuse.
That's right.
They are real issues that need to be addressed. So if you're going through something, if it's financial, no sweat, talk about it. You know, again, we're not rich men necessarily out here like that, but it's, you know, sometimes you gotta ask. Sometimes you gotta ask. Otherwise, and you might be sitting there like, you know, I don't want nobody to look at me, you know, like a bum or like I ain't doing nothing. But maybe you did make a mistake and you messed up your money. Maybe you did make that mistake. Maybe you eat out too much. I know I'm guilty about that a lot. Like on the road a lot or something like that. You just you ain't got the time to meal prep, or you just don't build up the resources that you need to do things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can always, and it'll take time, but you can always kind of set yourself up for success, even if you're behind. Just again, you gotta take your environment into consideration. There could be a lot of factors that come into play into it, but for the most part, it's all very simple. It all comes down to very some simple obstacles that it can be avoided. It ain't always got to be, you know, an avalanche of a problem. You know, people making mountains out of molehills, and not to say that anybody's plight is any less than another's, but again, when you take it into perspective, worse things have happened. And but whatsoever. All right, so even if that were to happen to you, regardless of the scale, verse 3, cleave unto him. I don't listen. I don't care if you lost your keys. I don't care if you stubbed your toe. I don't care if you chipped a tooth. I don't care if you find out you got cancer. I don't care if you got evicted, lost your job, lost a loved one, got into a car wreck. Whatever the issue is, cleave unto him and depart not. Don't break the faith just because you're going through some problems. We've been through some problems before. You know, our king went through some problems too. He did not break the faith. Right. Peter was tried and he had stumbled, but he at the end of the day he maintained that rock, and he maintained his obedience and affiliation and love for the Most High, for his king. That's Paul, same thing. I mean, you know, hardcore brothers that turned their life around, and he was in prison. He was in prison for a minute, writing out letters to all the different churches and schools, like schools that he had established, while he was under pressure, while he was going through his trials. All 7 schools. That's a huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. That's why a lot of people don't understand what that rank means. Like y'all think it's like niggas boasting about being a 50 an officer period, a trooper period, a 50 500,000, 5,000 captains and generals. Y'all think like we sitting there like high fiving it. I mean, it's congratulations, absolutely. Officer Lacombe out there in Chicago just got raised up to 1,000. Yeah, right. Clap it up for that brother too. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the work that he puts in, it's admirable. It's admirable, absolutely. But now his burden just got like tenfold. Right. The responsibility that he showed that he can handle, that's your job now. That's the life that you live in. So it don't come with a birthday cake. You know, maybe a couple shots and a pat on the back, and you know, then it's back to work, man. You know what I'm saying? It's right. It ain't like that. Whereas everybody else who adorn themselves in that alternative lifestyle apparel, you know, they making a mockery out of it. They ain't taking it serious as they should, and then their influence over people that look up to them, they end up taking it the same way. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state. Listen, again, car crashes, could have, you know, cut yourself at work, accidentally set yourself on fire. I remember one time when I was welding, I was doing a weld job on this one piece, and I had to get like real close to it, and my shirt was hanging over. And you know, when you're welding something it's like 10 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Like it's an extreme, very intense heat going on. And it might not look hot, but then like your fabric touches it, and like my shirt almost instantly went up in flames. I was wondering why it got so hot, so drastic, but we found out. It happens. Our truck broke down on the highway. In my word, our truck broke down on the highway, and took away a day of work. Some money for all these different moves that we had to make, but we weren't sitting there like we took it like Job. We took it like Job. We took it on the chin. We took it like Job, man. He never sit there and made excuses and complained about it. Job is an excellent example of a brother under pressure, cleaving onto the Most High, not departing away, and not making excuses. That's an excellent example. So is David, and again, so is Mordecai and Esther. We got a lot of examples from these records that everyone wants to argue. That was 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 20,000, a million years ago. How can it be applicable today? We just got done going over some scriptures that are like they mirror images of how our world interfaces today. The things that we're plagued with. Like, we can talk about drugs in the Bible. We can show you scriptures referencing drugs and addictions and substance abuse in the Bible. Domestic abuse, oppression from your supervisors or jobs or military or police factions, from the government. We like everything that we are facing today is written down in these records. Now, maybe for other nations, maybe some of that changed. Maybe France, today is different than 1,000 years ago. But they're not the ones that were under subjugation.
Right.
These are our records. If they got their own, no sweat. Let them do whatever the hell French people do. That's not our concern. We have our task to be. We've got our history to take into consideration. We've got our people to take into account. So I mean, listen, don't something bad happens. I'm not saying act like a loony bin and start laughing about it. Like if you find out that a loved one had passed away. I'm not saying you gotta like that's not what it's saying. Take cheerfully. It's just like it's another Monday. Just don't. You can't let that poison your spirit. You can't let that deter your mind. Like you're gonna have to keep it moving no matter what. Otherwise, you're gonna fall down that same snake pit, and you're gonna be consumed by that. Whether it's guilt, whether it's a lot of that's gonna end up coming in the form of guilt. But you can't let that take control of you. You got to control that situation. So whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully. Just listen. Roll with the punches. Roll with the punches. Don't take it that hard. It's like that heavy and hard to heart. Don't let it. It's gonna suck. Like when something bad happens, it's gonna suck. Okay, then what? Is sitting there crying or dwelling on it gonna make it any better? It's not going to solve the issue. It's not going to fix the problem. So now you got to do things to find the solution. You're not going to be able to do that if your mind and your judgment is all cloudy because of remorse or guilt or anger or sadness, whatever emotions that are getting stirred up as a result of the circumstances, as a result of that pressure, whatever comes weighing down on you. Again, our people have been through this. You can go through these scriptures and you can find that answer. You can find a similar situation and you can find the resolution. What was written aforetime was written for our learning. Mm-hmm. This it was written for us. Like this is the manual to life. You got a question? Here's the answers. It's right there in this book. It's right here in these records. If you don't understand it, listen, call that school near you. Get in contact with them. Email them. Text message them. Hit them up on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Like whatever method that you need to utilize, put into play to achieve this goal, get it done. Because I mean, it's still going to be BS. You know, like you get fired from your job. Okay, is complaining about getting fired from your job or getting high because you got fired from your job gonna solve you not having a job? Is you being a jerk to your people, treating other people just because you had a rough day, treating other people bad who also having a rough day? Is that going to make your day any better? Like, I know treating somebody like scum because you're hurting. You know, what's the phrase? Hurt people. Because you're hurting, that makes you that gives you some kind of gratification because now you're not the only one suffering. That does not make your situation any better. And now you just oppress one of your own people. And even if you didn't, like a lot of Muslims do, treating the heathen or the infidel poorly, which I don't quote me on this, but I believe in the Quran it says like you can commit certain kind of acts, like criminal acts against infidels or heathen nations, just because you're Muslim and they not. But that's not allowed here. You ain't supposed to treat nobody like that. Oh, and that actually brings me into a different way. Actually, we're gonna finish this one. I'm gonna jump into that too. So whatsoever, verse Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state. You may have gotten fired. Now you got to go through unemployment, a bunch of hoops that you got to jump through there. You got to go through job applications, online or in person, whatever you got to do. Be patient with that process to get a new job. Or your wife left you. Okay, clear out the house. Throw all her stuff out. Be amicable and just give it to her. It ain't gotta be all that crazy. People's emotions is really what messes all this stuff up. And you overreacting. Men and women, brothers and sisters, overreacting, getting in their feelings about something that doesn't have to be taken to that extreme. You know what I'm saying? If you're a brother and your wife was unfaithful to you, all right, peace. Like, yeah, shalom. Like that's it. Like don't go putting your hands on her. Don't go trying to murder the next man that she with. Don't go binge drinking, trying to drive around all reckless, through the hood or something, looking for a fight with somebody else. Because again, you might come across somebody else who's looking for a reason to be violent because maybe their wife just left them too, or maybe their son was involved in some street activity and got murdered over a dime bag or a game of dice. You know what I'm saying? Or went shopping and got hit by a stray bullet because some other gang banging activity in the neighborhood. And now he's looking for a reason to be violent, to get rid of some of that pain and that anguish that he's going through. You can't let it cloud your judgment, and you can't let it knock you off your square. This is for brothers and sisters that are in the truth or outside the truth. This is universal practical knowledge. You can take this at home with you. You ain't got to be in the UPK for that. Take it home with you. And Lord allow this to help give you the understanding that this is where you should be, because we living in that kingdom, in this school, within us, and we're practicing it, where we're putting it, where we're sharing this with everybody, for free. We got free classes all the time. Radio shows, all the different podcasts that we got. Let a Hebrew Speak, Boot Up or Shut Up. Damn, Commander Johnny Hunter, what he just changed it to it's not Blackwash no more, right?
America's on fire.
America is on fire.
As he the
prophets. Scripture breakdown class with General Muhammad. I mean, all the Sabbath services. It don't get no better than that. It don't get more informative than this. You got a question, go ahead and ask. You got a problem with it? Stay having a problem with it then. I don't know what to tell you. Because like there is a way to solve it, but yeah, it's the truth is very one-sided. The truth, there's not a gray area with the truth. Like it's
right.
Just facts of life. that people either are gonna understand and abide by or disagree with and negotiate. And you're gonna have to make considerations for everybody else's truth that's out there. And that's not gonna unburden your problems any less. You know what I'm saying? Or any more, I should say. Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. That's how you're gonna find out what somebody metal made out of. That's how you're gonna find out if you got a true brother, somebody that's gonna stand there with you staunch when things get rough in their personal lives. Because a lot of times, we're gonna get to that one too. Because a lot of times, like, you might see a friend or a brother going through something, and now you all ride or die for them when they going through something. You're their support system for them. But then when something happens to you, you implode, you cave in, you fall under that pressure, and you don't even let them be a brother to you, because you don't go to them and talk about it.
That's heavy.
That's heavy shit. Let them be a brother to you. They want to be there for you. They want to be there for you, man. They don't want to see you digging your own grave. They don't want to see you drinking yourself to death.
Right.
They want to help you out of that problem. You lose somebody in your life, they lost somebody too.
Right.
We share this thing together.
That's right.
Let them be a brother to you. The same way that you would offer your brotherhood to them. Same thing with the sisters. Let if you're going through something, first get counsel. And this ain't nothing against the women in the UPK, but like our sisters know what's up. Get counsel from the school. Get counsel from the brothers that run that zone. That offer, well, all the brothers offer counselship, but like you got designated, people again that like the head of the school.
Right.
That's who you should always be going to in your zone. That should be your go-to. Or it's like first your husband. If you're a sister, go to your husband first. Go to him first. Let him take the proper steps, after that. If you're an unmarried sister, or if you're courting even, go to the head of the school.
Right.
Let them do their job. Let them do what they signed up for. Let them live out what they said that they were going to give their life up for. Let them do that. Let them be a brother to you, man. Let that sister be a sister to you. Don't be a fool with your arms folded in, chomping at the bit, eating your own flesh. Don't be that. Let Israel be a family again. You know what I'm saying? Don't be selfish. That'd be a selfish thing to do, to not let them perform their duties. To not let them abide by the oath that they swore when that oath got put on their head and they changed their life. Verse 6, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. You can't just have a bad day and then shut the blinds and listen to some depressing ass music and watching some depressing ass movies and just dwelling on guilt and shame and memories and reliving them moments over and over and over and over and over, because it's not going to fix the situation. You got to keep on. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it moving forward. So believe in him. Believe in this process. Believe because everything that we just got done saying is in the Bible. The Most High told you to do this too. So believe in that process. Trust on that process. And trust that the problems that you are facing aren't stronger than you, because the problems that you're facing were given to you with a purpose, to prove you. So prove yourself. Do it the right way. Don't go to social media. Don't jump on Facebook talking about how hard this or that or the third is. That ain't gonna help you. Don't go down to the barbershop. Just crying on dude ears. Don't go to your pastor, your preachers. If if you don't know who to contact directly in your city, maybe there's not a school yet established in your city. Look at one of the neighboring cities. Like it's a hop, skip, and a jump away. Like we ain't hard to find. But don't go relying on the people that you get high with to try to help you get off of drugs. That doesn't make any damn sense. If you was in an abusive relationship, don't go back to that crazy female dog and try to get her advice on the next woman that you should try to be with.
Right.
No. You know, don't go asking your kids. Like, hey, what do you think mommy and daddy should do? You know, just lost my job. Should I go back to school? I'm a little confused. Should I go and find myself? Maybe write some poetry? No, dude's 3 years old trying to eat some Cheerios. Let him be.
Right.
Just let that go.
Right.
You know, like Adam said, wear out them doorsteps.
Right.
General Muhammad is all too anxious to get your phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning. Just hit him up. Hit him up. Give him a call. Tell him a manga bar from Minnesota sent you. But again, this is what the brothers signed up for, and it's because of everything that we're going through as a people. We don't look at us as like individuals. It's what we're going through as a people. That's going to help heal the nation. So healing all these individuals and getting to the root of the problem and getting to the solutions of it, that helps rebuild the family, that helps rebuild the community, rebuilds the neighborhood, rebuilds the cities and the states and the country. It rebuilds the nation as a whole. That's the end goal here. And because of everything that we're going through, like that's why we have to have these classes. That's why we have to have our counseling sessions. That's why we gotta constantly promote on social media platforms all the events going on. And all too often, a lot of people's problems with us, so 3. There was normally always 2 that I noticed, but then I started picking up on the 3rd one. They don't want to say kind out of one kind because they think like they're the man. That they think like they want to be the dude in control. They don't want to answer to nobody else. They don't want to respect authority, but they want their authority and their knowledge to be respected. Because 2, they think that they know something that we haven't already been through hundreds of times over. You got seasoned men in the UPK. Try them if you want to. Everybody got something to say. Everybody got something to say about your dumb ass too. Like what? Like, so what? What's the point of it? How is that going to accomplish the goal? If everybody's talking about unity and for the love of Israel and for the love of the Most High, what's that going to accomplish? You're just going to add on to the layers and layers and layers of nonsense that we are trying to shed off of our people, and that includes you. This is for anybody out there that again is wearing color coordinated, matching outfits, standing on the corners and mimicking the UPK, mimicking Nehemiah and Ezekiel and Zechariah and them brothers when they were on them pulpits too. Which again, we get everything that we do from the Bible. So we ain't. It's not a carbon copy, so to speak. We are.
Right.
We maintain that same standard. Right. We are them. We didn't have to copy and paste this to 2023. We just kept it going since blah 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 BC.
Right.
Verse 7. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest ye fall. Man. You can't. Don't be weak. Don't be a coward. Don't just give up. As uncomfortable as it might be to make that phone call or send that text message, it is necessary, and you know it. You goddamn know it.
That's right.
Don't avoid it. And it's eat that responsibility. If you did something wrong, accept it. We're gonna get over this together. We're gonna get past it.
Right.
It ain't gotta be that. It's not the end of the world. I promise you, worse things have happened.
That's right.
A few other things I wanted to try to catch real quick. All right, so yeah, Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That's not just exclusive to cis males. That just because they use the word he, that's also because I don't know what they're gonna try to check us on next. Yeah. So it's just as uncomfortable for me to say it as it is for y'all to hear it.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's horrible. But then that's the world that we live in.
Yeah.
That's the time. That's the times that we are living in.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Is this the one? Not quite. It's like just a few more of these where we're closing up on time. Oh, here, all right. So here was one. So 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 17. In our endeavors to be better people, to be better servants, to be better children to our power, to our Father, to be better brothers to our own, better sisters. And everybody want to talk about unity and peace and love and blah blah blah, but they don't. All that goes away when some pressure gets put on. And I'm talking again, for each individual circumstance, but abroad, if something's going wrong in somebody's household, he's not going to take your household into consideration. If somebody's going on in one dude's life, they're not going to take your life into consideration when they're making actions or when they're making choices based as a reaction to what they're going through. So again, you lose your job, you decide to get high, or you're just angry, no matter what, and you're looking for a fight with whoever. Normally, you're going to try to find somebody that's weaker than you so that you can have the satisfaction of beating somebody down. But then sometimes you're going to look for somebody that's going to be a challenge for you. That's still no excuse to act like a dumbass,
right?
And inconsiderate. That's no excuse for you to be inconsiderate of how somebody else is doing what they got going on in their life. So just for example, there's another scripture too that goes with this. I can't think of it off top, but we're just gonna roll with this one. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 17. Honor all men. We ain't supposed to be rude, criminals. We ain't supposed to steal from nobody across the board. I don't care if they're an infidel. I don't care if they're a heathen. I don't care if they're a sinner. Whatever designation or label that you want to give them, that they want to give themselves in contradiction or in contrast to yours. We're not supposed to be that to them. Be at peace with all men. Be at peace with all men. The cop that pulled you over, there are actually law-abiding civil servants that don't wish to do you how they did what's that brother Nichols? Tyree Nichols. Tyree with a T. That brother Tyree Nichols. There are people in uniform that don't wish to do that to you. There are some people that do. Whether self-defense is self-defense. If somebody trying to take your life, you got the right to defend yourself. I don't care if they got a badge on or not. But not everybody out there is trying to ruin your life or murder you in the streets or plant drugs on you, things like that. Be at peace with all men. Be at peace with everybody. The cop that pulls you over, the judge that slaps you with the ticket, the garbage public pretender that doesn't do their job. They just there to chalk another one up, whether they win or lose, it don't matter to them. To the person that bumped into you on the sidewalk, messed up your brand new white J's, to the person that smoking a cigarette right next to you on the train when it says right there, right behind the head, no smoking. Be at peace with them, man. Honor all men. That's not the same as letting them walk all over you. But that does mean not to abhor, for example. Not to treat people with disrespect just because maybe you don't like them or you don't like what they represent. Not every thought that pops in your head needs to be verbalized, needs to be spoken to somebody.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there, a lot of tough guys that were just keeping it real, that are in jail or in a grave because you just had to say something.
Right.
Listen, people get stabbed up over over dumb stuff, over little issues that could have been resolved with either them saying, apologizing, because maybe they weren't aware of what was going on. Maybe they just stumbled, accidents, circumstances. It could be a number of different things. Maybe some of these student loans just got called in, and now they just again they're having a crappy day, and
Right.
Feeling some type of way, having a bad day, and the head's not really focused on their surrounding atmosphere. They're going from A to B, and they're making some kind of mistakes along the way.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you got to sit there and shoot them in the face just because they made an accidental offense to you that they probably weren't aware of in the first place. But take I don't want to say take your time with it, but be smart about it. Be smart about it. Not every action deserves reaction. Not everybody's feelings, thoughts, or emotion deserves attention.
That's right.
Not every post on Facebook deserves a comment. Not every YouTube channel that's in disagreement with the truth deserves a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a review. None of that.
Right.
It's so it is unbelievably easy to not say anything. Just again, you got to get over your emotions. You got to get over your ego about things. Because again, you're gonna have to keep it moving no matter what. So getting into a fight with somebody just because you having a bad day and they're having a good or bad day, and now you in jail, that did not solve any of your former problems. Now you just added a few more onto it. So listen, 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 17: honor all men, love the brotherhood. Let your brothers be brothers to you. If you're going through something, listen, share that with them. If they ask you about something, don't. If they're asking how your day going and you doing crappy, but you sitting there telling them you're putting on a fake smile, like don't do that. You're gonna again that you're being that fool with your arms folded in, and you're not letting them exercise their brotherhood. You're not being a brother to them by keeping them from letting them do their part. Love the brotherhood. Fear God. Listen, don't eat pork because God said so. I don't know why that's such a problem, because when we say don't smoke crack because God said so, y'all tend to agree with that. It's the same thing. God said so. Don't eat pork. Don't eat shrimp. Not that big a deal. Don't smoke dope. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't sleep with your brother's wife. Don't go stealing from nobody. And chances are they're not going to cave your head in with a baseball bat. I'm just saying, I think the stats kind of prove that. Honor the king. So now our king Yahushua, the example that he set for us, his authority, his rulership, as being the spokesperson for the Most High here on earth. Honor that. Give him that respect. Give him that reverence. Do what the hell you're told to do.
Right.
Because he might say something that isn't a direct law from God as such, but that's still that's still a decree, that's still an ordinance that you are expected to follow.
Right.
Because maybe some of the times change. Back in the day, they didn't have TVs and computers.
Right.
So now you might need a different governing system to establish how people are supposed to act with TVs and computers now. There is no law that you will find in the Bible that says do not drill a hole in the wall of the women's bathroom and stick a tiny camera in there, record them undressing, and then, you know, sell it online for profit. There's no law that says do not do that. But as technology had advanced, we needed different. These ain't gonna mix.
Oh,
yeah. This is the other bottle. Yeah, we ain't doing that one tonight.
I'm gonna let you refer to that. So we don't want to do it at all.
Now we do. So the flavors are too conflicting.
Otherwise, I'll say it.
I ain't saying that again. I just don't want to mix them there.
I mean,
there's you can grab another one. Split that half or something.
Do you have some over there or like?
No, I'm saying like another cup.
No. I'm saying, do you have something else?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, just grab another cup.
So you still want it?
Yeah, I just don't want it now. Yeah, it's left. But honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king. The king gave us, certain code of conduct, certain way to live our lives that we can apply to today. So now we have to take some of that standard of morality and apply it to updated technological advancements. Same things that may come in with AI or what? Sure. Yeah. What? Same thing that may apply with your cars. I don't believe that they had speed limits back then with the horses and chariots. I don't think it ever said, you can't go above. I don't know how. I think horses can travel like 30, 40 miles an hour. You got 10 of them on the joint. You might be able to reach a good, 60, something like that. Maybe with the inertia or something. If you're running downhill, But they did not have speed limits, speed limit signs back then on the trails. If your guns blazing, I mean, you're just, going, hauling ass. Nowadays we've got cars and vehicles and motorcycles that'll get up to 200 miles an hour if you so choose, if not more. There needs to be different consideration for things like that too. So listen, honor the king. King tells you to do something, listen, just go do it. If it's not in confliction with the laws of the Most High, just do it. It's really not that difficult.
Paul said that the laws are not grievous.
It's really not. And if you got confusion or contention about something, ask. We'll get through this. So listen, when brotherhood is put under pressure, prove yourself.
That's right.
A worthy man is found in adversity, in adversity. We are tried by fire. And when you're coming into this truth, man, you better get your soul ready for temptation. That's because it's, I'm telling you, the end is near. Like we are coming up on them days, and they're gonna do everything in their power with their manipulation to throw us off key. That's right. To knock us off our square. So don't lose heart. Believe in the Most High. Trust in the Most High. Cleave onto the Most High. Rely on that brotherhood. Love that brotherhood. Let them be brothers to you. If you're going through something, listen, man, share that burden, man. You got enough of us. You got enough of us, and you got some seasoned vets in this truth that ain't gonna steer you wrong. They're gonna give you proper counsel. They're gonna give you proper advice, something sturdy that you can stand on and live by. So don't be afraid to make that phone call. ISUPK.com. We got the Passover coming up. We're about to get into security announcements. Let's lock it. ISUPK security announcements. We have the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to set themselves in the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find that in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, means sent in the Hebrew, Maishur. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department to teach it. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatever amount you would like. So you can go to ashupk.com. The website has been revamped, been restored, so it's up and running. So you got, you can pay your tithes, make donations, your Passover funds, $200 per brother sister that's 17 years or older. You got the Zelle app or the Cash app. Get in contact with school near you, see what their preferred method is, if that's the case. Otherwise, for example, just to shoot it out there, $ all cash, UPK, Minnesota. Maybe send us a trial offer just to make sure that the Cash app works for you. And we got you covered. Upcoming holy convocations. Listen, April, we just got over with Purim last night. It was glorious. You can see all the pictures on all the different websites and social media pages. Glorious to see everybody coming together for the right reasons too. We got Passover coming up April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina. There's a lot of events surrounding the Passover. So before the actual Passover and after the Passover, there's a number of events going on. And immediately following the Passover is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So make sure that if you're traveling out of town and you're not coming back right away, and you're not coming back before the Feast of Unleavened Bread, get all of the leavening agents out of your house. Keep them in the garage. You ain't got to necessarily throw them out, but they cannot be in your dwelling place so that when you come back, your house is clean for you to come back to. Otherwise, get in contact with school near you. Make sure all your travel arrangements, your lodging arrangements, all the fees and dues are paid up. Any donation that you want to make, any help that you need, contact the school near you. Don't just take that. Don't just take that on your own. Keep in contact with the school near you. Always check up on in the group chats if there are any, on the websites, on the social media pages, if for any upcoming events. Maybe you're doing something that's local. We got the Midwest Fire Weekend coming up after the Passover too. That's what I'm saying. So things like that you want to keep an eye out for. Any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That means your boots, your shirt, your pant, headband, and or scarf. With that, Amadi, which means stand, will find the done, turn face to the east. We say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verses 8 through 13. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Tabaa, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazak, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathanaw, Lakan, Kal, Yawam, Wasalakanaw, Kabawatnaw, Kasalaknaw, Kabawatinaw, Wala, Dabianaw, Manasawan, Abal, Haushana, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Ma'al, Hata Para, Laulami, in English. Our Father, John Heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Pray to bless Israel in the evil. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Say Barak Lanaw. Barak Lanaw. Wayashab. Wahabaya. Sapar. Barak. Rabah. Magan. Hagan. At this time, you can say the name of the loved one once. Everyone repeats that name once. You can follow us on social media. You can type in the name of the loved one and send the prayers up with you.
It's like school UPK. ISUK Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Family Kudasayan.
Mother Bar. House of Makati.
Kanaka Bar.
Guanyala.
Sapara. Azar.
Yapa. Rakapa. Anali.
South Dakota. Tatiyah.
That's
Captain Sparta Potts.
Captain Sparta Potts.
Aisha Stevens.
Aisha Stevens.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Head Priest Ariah.
Head Priest Ariah.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
That's good. Marakapa.
Marakapa.
Lil Carl.
Lil Carl.
The Willis family.
Willis family.
Slaughter family.
Slaughter family.
The Willis family.
Willis family.
Wagner family.
Wagner family.
The Peterson family.
Peterson family.
Rollins family.
Rollins family.
All of Israel.
All of Israel. Davis family.
Davis family.
McIntosh family.
McIntosh family. Tarak.
Tarak. Jamin.
Jamin.
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Raphael.
Raphael.
Ma'ashem Yahushua.
Ma'ashem Yahushua.
Tu'aramah. In English, Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Lord, in the name of Yahushua.
Bless us in Israel.
Bless us in Israel.
In the school.
In the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Our loved ones.
Loved ones.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so be. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of earth.
All things living.
All things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Some evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the evil. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. In the school. Some evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose. The treasure of the rich of Israel. That refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. To enter thy sanctuary. Some evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the Edomites. And the nations. They drug dealers. Court system. Prison system. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies. And Amalek synagogues and armies. Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. High school Matazzi. Gay movement. Lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA Space Program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And airwaves. Cable access channels. The radio channels. To make the spirit. Many of thy people. That seek to stop us. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathens. That stand in the way. And try to stop us. From broadcasting your word. Throughout the planet Earth. That lose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief. And the murder. The Yahushua. Michael and Gabriel. Down to flying saucers. Punish all the heathen. That come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. It is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through media. Cause the whole world. Cause them to shake it that come. In the name of Yahushua. Take them over. So be it. Start to the front. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty, Barak, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, rock the throne. That's Matai. Shout out to the sisters, courtesy salute. Men of Israel, and Mighty Shabbat, Mighty, Barak, Yahweh, Shema, Allah, Hashem, Yahushua. That's Matai, hands down, class dismissed.